Oh, hello. I'm Thomas. I wanted to say thank you for 500 subscribers on the channel. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Enjoy the video. Today on the island of Sodor, we see what happens when Elizabeth needs to take Oliver to the works. Then Edward needs to take the railway inspector along the island of Sodor. But first, we see what happens when James has to take a special with Donald and Douglas. Was very happy. He was going to take a special, but when he arrived at the docks to collect his train, Donald and Douglas were there waiting. "What are you two doing here?" said James. "Aren't you supposed to work on the branch line with Duck and Oliver?" he asked to the two twin engines. "We're here to collect a special. We're going to take it to a new construction site where they're working on something new. I can't wait to see what it is," said the two twin engines to James. "But I'm here to collect a special, not you two. But there's only one special, and I think we're the ones who are going to take it. Ain't that right, Doggy?" "Aye, Donny, I think it is." "Ha, really?" Just then the Fat Controller walked up. "Donald, Douglas, and James, I need you three to take a special together, as the train is too heavy for only two engines." And "What? Really? Come on, let's go and couple up, you two." That engine is too puffed up in his smoke box." I think you're right there." James coupled up to the train, feeling very happy with himself. But then a tender rolled in front of him. "Hey, what do you think you're doing? I'm just supposed to be the front engine here," said James. "No, I think it's best if me and Donny is in front." "Ain't that right, Donny?" I think it's best for all of us that the strongest engines are in front." James was furious, but he had to agree. So they puffed away with the heavy train. The train was very long. They puffed through the beautiful countryside, but the train was beginning to feel very heavy. Come on. Can't we go any faster?" James, you need to learn your slow speed sometimes." I am. Don't worry. It's you that needs to learn something." Later down the line, they met Edward at a small station in the countryside. "Oh, hello there," said Edward. Hello there, Edward. "What are you doing here?" asked Donald. It's nice meeting you again, Edward. It's been a long time since the last time we chat." "Oh, why, thank you. I'm just going to take some trucks to the quarry." "That sounds interesting." "It is." James was beginning to get fed up. Come on, let's go. Okay. No big deal, Worry Wheels." Worry Wheels." "Shut up," said James, and they puffed away. "They are going to end up in trouble," said Edward to himself. At the next station, Emily was waiting. "Why, hello there, young lassie," said Donald. "What are you doing here waiting?" "I was expecting you at Tidmouth," said Donald. "I have to take some important trucks to the construction site where they're building something new." "That's interesting. I can't wait to see what happens." James was again getting fed up. Come on, he said, and bumped Douglas. Come on, let's go. No time for chit-chat." "Ow! Fine. You don't let us even talk to a lassie." What an annoying engine." James didn't bother. At the yards, Percy was talking to the narrow gauge engines. Percy liked working with small engines in the hills. He thought it was very fun. The narrow gauge engines also liked working with the standard gauge ones. They always had stories to trade with one another, and they always thought it was very fun. Just then, the triple-header train arrived at the station. Donald pulled in with Douglas at his behind and James behind there. Ah, hello there, Scarlowy, Peter, Simon and Percy. What are you doing? We just collecting some stone from the hills and transferring them. That's good. We are here with a special delivery. James was again being fed up. Come on, no time for chit-chat. I got coaches to pull and bump them. Ah, this is enough, said Douglas. You've bumped us all the time. Aye, it's beginning to get annoying. Can't you just stop? Said Donald. Percy was also cross. That's no way to treat an engine. I agree. James, you need to learn your manners. It's not right to bump engines. I think you need to learn to have some patience. It's no use. Donald and Douglas soon left for their shed. James realized his mistake and began to feel very guilty. Oh dear. Later that day, James puffed into the sheds where Donald and Douglas was. I'm sorry I bumped you two all day. I just wanted to take this special. I guess we should be sorry for, being a little rude to you at the beginning. I think it was all of ours. I think we were all a little bit mean to each other. We're sorry. We should never have done that to begin with and let you get mad. Thank you, but I'm still sorry. That's good. Anyway, have a good night, you two. You too, James. And James puffed away. All the engines were glad they had made up. Donald and Douglas were especially happy to have made a friend in James. Aren't you glad that they're happy? Ben is working in the yards, but he's new and doesn't know what to do. Can you help him find which train goes to which? There are 2 sets of coaches. One of them's Annie and Clarabelle. Which engine takes Annie and Clarabelle? That's right, it's Thomas. Great job with helping Ben finding the right engine to take Annie and Clarabelle. Off you go, Thomas. There's only 2 sets of coaches left. Which engine's left at the yards? That's right, it's Edward. That must mean that those coaches belong to him. Go and shunt them, Ben. Great job, and thank you for helping Ben. Good job, Ben, and good job to you for helping Ben. On the island of Sodor, all the engines love to be really useful. They always want to get special jobs and please the fat controller. They never want to be late and never want to be delayed by something stupid. One of these engines is Edward. He loves this the most. One morning, the fat controller came to speak to Edward. He had an important job to him. Good morning, sir. Pleased to meet you, Edward. I got a special job for you. A special? For me? Thanks, sir. What is it? I need you to take the railway inspector around Sodor. Me, sir, take the railway inspector. Thank you, sir. Edward went to the docks to collect the railway inspector. He was in a special coach. Just then, Porter showed up shunting some trucks. Why, hello there, Edward. How are you doing? You taking the railway inspector today? Yes, I am. I'm very excited. Anyway, I gotta go. See you later, Porter. Bye, Edward. Edward puffed along the tracks, down the hills and around the bends. He didn't stop. He arrived at the stations right on time. And left when it was time to leave. Up ahead on the track, a diesel was pulling some oiled cars, but one of them derailed and hit. It busted open and oil spilled onto the tracks. Just then Edward came. The signalman had switched the points. Edward was just about to stop, but he couldn't. The oily rails made him slip. Oh no, I'm not supposed to be on this track. I have to stop. But he couldn't. The oily rails made him slip, and up ahead was a buffer stop. Oh no, I'll never stop in time. Wait a minute, I can use my sandboxes. Edward opened his sandboxes and sand spilled onto the rails. He managed to stop just in front of the buffers. Phew, I did it. Yes, you did, old boy. Now let's go. Edward set off. He got back onto the normal track and headed to the next station. He arrived where Bertie was to take the inspector along the roads. Here he is, Bertie. Go and take him. Of course, Edward. I'll see you later. Bertie rolled away, but soon Edward began to feel bored. He said hello to his friends, who puffed past him and whistled back. But he wanted the rail inspector to come back. Just then Bertie arrived around the corner. Finally, now I can set off to the last station. Edward arrived at the last station a few minutes behind, but the railway inspector understood, of course. Well, that was a fun ride, wasn't it? Indeed it was, old boy. Now, let's go back to the sheds. When Edward arrived at the sheds, all the engines were there, and they were cheering for him. Well done, Edward. You did great. Magnificent. Edward, you really are a very useful engine, said James. Everybody was happy. The railway inspector was also happy. Thank you all, said Edward. That night the Fat Controller talked to Edward. The railway inspector said to me that you were a really useful engine and ready to react. Edward was happy. Thomas is taking a special delivery, but he puffs too hard and breaks his coupling rod. Luckily, his friend Elizabeth comes to help him. But she doesn't know what a coupling rod is. Can you help her find a coupling rod? At the yards, there are 3 things. But what does Thomas need? There's a coupling, a smoke box, and a coupling rod. What thing is what Thomas needed? Help Elizabeth find what Thomas needed. Is it a coupling? No, he was pulling trucks. Is it a smoke box? No, he was puffing steam. Is it a coupling rod? Yes, that's what he broke. Well done. Thank you, Elizabeth, for collecting the coupling rod. Now Thomas can puff again. Now we just have to repair the coupling rod, and then we'll be on go. Great work! Now Thomas is ready to leave. Thank you for helping Thomas and Elizabeth, and have a good day. Elizabeth is a vintage lorry. She's one of the oldest lorries on Sodor. This means she needs regular checkups. One day on the Little Western, Oliver and Donald were waiting at Callan Station. So, Oliver, what are you going to do today? Said Donald. I'm going to go up to Alsbrook to collect some ballast. They need it here to fix some of the tracks. I'll see you later, Donald. Cheerio! And Oliver puffed away. Aye, now we engine should be careful up there. I heard Scruffy's going to be on the train. Just then, Elizabeth rolled into the station. She was very excited. She was going to help load and unload some cargo. "Why, hello there, Donald," she said to the Scottish engine. "How are you doing on this fine, lovely morning?" she said. I feel very good. Thanks for asking, Elizabeth. Anyway, what are you doing here? I knew you were coming, but I didn't expect..." Just then, all the engines heard a whistle. "That sounds like Oliver," said Douglas. "And it also sounds like he's coming in very fast. It looks like he's being pushed by some trucks. Help! Help! They're pushing me! On! Faster, faster!" Oliver was going to crash into Stanley's passenger train, so the signalman diverted him into a siding. Donald was so surprised, he rolled back and bumped his trucks. Ballast flew everywhere. Just then Oliver passed him, but it was too late to try and stop. Oliver crashed into the buffers. Ballast flew everywhere. "Oh dear, what have I done?" said Oliver. He was very sad. Soon, Douglas and Donald took Oliver's trucks. "You should have been more careful," said Elizabeth to the Great Western engine. I know. It was just a revenge plan from Scruffy. Something happened. But they didn't know that some ballast had spilled onto the main line downstream, but the ballast topped him over. "I'm fine. Botheration! How will I get to the works now?" said Oliver. "I got an idea, Mr. Oliver. I see this little old flatbed that's laying on the ground. Miss Elizabeth can carry you with it. I know it will be hard, but I think we can try it. At least we are going to try. Isn't that right?" "I think that's an excellent idea. I'll telephone the Fat Controller right away." But Elizabeth was worried. She hadn't had her checkups. She wanted to help Oliver, but she knew it could be dangerous. "All right then." I telephoned and he said yes. "Do you think you can do it, Elizabeth?" Even though she hadn't had her checkup, Elizabeth decided to be our useful lorry. "I'll try." Soon, Elizabeth was coupled up and they pulled Oliver away. "See you later, Toad." "Bye, Mr. Oliver." There was no real road, so they had to drive on the grass. It was a very uncomfortable ride. They bumped and rattled all over. Soon they finally came to the real road, but then there was trouble. Elizabeth broke down straight on the railway crossing. "Oh, botheration! What happened now?" she said. "It looks like you, broken down. This is why we need checkups, I guess. I'll go and call for help." On the track? On the branch line? This can't be. I'll have to try and get off." Elizabeth pulled and heaved. It was very tough. Without her motor, it was almost impossible to do it. "Oh no! What's that?" She saw something in the distance. It was Thomas coming in with a passenger train. "Oh no!" she said. She tried to get off, but it was too late. "Bust my buffers," said Thomas. "Oh my word," said Oliver. "Oh my dearie me," said Elizabeth. Soon the mess was all cleared up, and Elizabeth was now on the same flatbed as Oliver. "Elizabeth, you should have been more careful and had your checkups. I can understand you wanted to help, but this is not the way to do it," said the Fat Controller. "I know, sir. I'm sorry, sir." "You better be." And he walked away. "I'm sorry, Oliver. I should have had my checkups." "Don't worry. It's all right. At least you tried." Yeah, that is true. At least I tried.